Alright guys, I love playing around with these drones, and this one's no exception. So I just kind of want to show you the box, and I want to show you this because you can see the controller and you can see some of the specifics as far as the controls. One thing I really like about this controller is this key here, or this control here is sort of a spring-loaded type. It returns to center, so it makes hovering and flying as a whole very, very easy. So you can see there is a real-time view and controller. I don't care too much about this, and I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to go into detail about this. They work okay. It's free software you can download, but the problem I have with it is in the sunshine, the phone is difficult to see, and I have two phones, and neither one of them fit very well because they have portions attached to them that I am not going to remove just to use for this, because I need those things, and they're not reusable. So you stick them on and you're done. And since that's the case, I can't peel them off. They don't really fit here, so I can't really show you what that looks like. But it actually works quite well. I don't care for the controlling aspect, but the real-time view is pretty cool. But just so you can see some of the controls here and here. And if you need to, you can pause the video at any point to see that in more detail. And then same thing here for the LCD type screen display on the remote, and for the actual phone itself. So I just wanted to give you an opportunity to see that. And then of course you have your real-time view and your control by phone. So you have other information provided. Just wanted to show you that. Let's get that out of the way. Look at what's included. Your controller, very easy to read. Very cool. You of course have all your labels. Your phone holder we just talked about. That actually goes in the controller like that. I'm not going to attach it. The drone we're going to get to in a moment. The charging cable. Screws and screwdriver. Card reader. Your prop guards, which I don't really care for. And your extra propellers. You have a thank you card. Sort of like a postcard. And you leave a review, get a free battery, and your user manual. Good user manual, plenty of information, easy to understand, multi-language. This drone is a little different than some of the others that I've had before, which is pretty cool. Let me go ahead and set this up. Of course you have your camera, your landing gear that you attach, your lights. That's your antenna for your unit. And this battery door opens up. The battery's inside. It's not very easy to get in and out, but you don't really need to, because you have a micro USB charging port and a power button. How cool. Love that aspect. There's your little included memory card. So you're not going to get a huge amount of video. The quality is not great, so it's not something you're going to care too much about. If you, for some reason, don't want to use the camera or the landing gear, you do have these sort of built-in landing gear aspect. If you just want to play with it, that's pretty cool. Runtime on this, let's say 7 to 12 minutes. 8 minutes is what they actually list it as, but that varies a little bit. Depends on a lot of factors. Wind is one of the major. And charging time, most of these things require around 2 hours or more. This one's listed at about 60 minutes. I didn't time it exactly. I was in and out of the room, but I'd say between an hour, hour and a half roughly was my charging time. So 60 minutes is probably right if you don't get it too depleted, but it really depends on where you go with that. But this is a pretty easy to fly drone. I like this thing a lot. Very pleased with it so far. And hopefully I can show you guys a couple of things with it in motion. Okay? So let's go check it out. Alright guys, I'm going to do my best to keep this in the frame. The wind is pretty mild today, so pretty cool. We got this thing up and going. We got our takeoff and our land button over here, so that's pretty cool. We do have our speed adjustments, our trim adjustments, power button, flips and different things. So we're going to see what we can do and get a couple of things going. Hopefully I can keep it in frame enough to show you what it looks like. So let me push that button to start. You can see it's already going. Let's see if I can get it back over here in frame. It's a little hard to watch the camera and the drone. So hopefully you caught that flip. Such an easy drone to control, I swear. The wind is playing with it a little bit. It's another one of those little flips there. I've got the speed at the highest point now. Alright, I'm going to push the land button. Hopefully you can see that it's descending, and it just landed. Take off button, and we're back up and going again. So this is a very cool drone. Once you let go of the controller, it somewhat stays where it is. It does drift a little, so there's a little bit of wind. But you can see pretty much one-handed operation. So if you're a beginner and you're just flying this for the first time, it's going to be very easy for you. Flips, if you see, are very, very easy. So one of the hardest things with this drone probably is if you actually are trying to stay oriented as far as direction. I mean, if it's close up, you can kind of see the lights and the colors, but when it's kind of farther out, there's no difference in the propped colors. So visually from a distance, it's a little more difficult than some. So that's something to take into account. But overall, very easy to fly. I don't think you can get much easier. I don't really know a lot of other things to tell you about this. You can see how steady it actually is. For the most part. doesn't get much easier to fly.